stuff.
Yeah, so I had something there and I read.
But I'll keep this then.
Okay,
Awesome.
cool. Yeah, and then we'll catch up with you more if you have any questions or anything.
Okay.
If you have any questions, you guys.
Yeah, that sounds great.
We'd love to go over it with you in the morning.
Yeah, we're just getting ready to
you guys doing?
start landscaping and planning out our yard.
Okay, cool. Yeah. It's so much fun.
56.
Yeah.
You guys want to come over and we'll talk a little bit before and make everybody who's on time and late, we'll make them feel jealous. Are there people in the front yard over there?
Yeah.
You want to call them over for me?
Hey, come on over, people in the front yard.
Hattori Hanzo. That's the Kill Bill story. That's awesome. Do you do poi or do you eat poi?
Both.
You do both. Wow, that's cool. Does eating poi feed your poi skills? With
My youngest was actually allergic to rice, you know, at 1 year old, and she only ate poi.
Wow,
It was
I love
the
it.
most non-allergenic for babies.
Wow, it's so good. Yeah. Usually I wait like till 5 minutes after, but I'm gonna do a little demo here and then we'll talk gardening. So come on in nice and tight so you guys can see me. When I'm not gardening, I'm doing martial arts. I'm used to group fighting, so this is kind of nice. And I got the knife in my hand. So.
We have you outnumbered.
Yeah, but he's more skilled.
Only 5 at a time can actually hit me. So. Are you guys sure you want to come here for gardening this morning to waste your morning with me in my garden?
We're gardening right now.
I know. I'm wasting your time gardening, and you could be gardening. But as you guys can see, I just have a normal, garden in the city, and the neighborhood's like a 1970s neighborhood. And since 2011, we've been gardening here, and before it was just a dirt lot. So I think people kind of like this because it is just normal. It's not like 20 acres or 50 acres out in the country. It's like somebody gardening and doing a lot of food in their city home. What do you guys think? Is everybody from Arizona or anybody outside of Arizona?
New York.
Miami.
You came to New York just for my garden tour?
I came just for your garden tour, but I came from New York 20 years ago.
Oh, 20 years ago.
Yes, yeah.
I'm so disappointed now. I was,
Northwest Phoenix, if that helps.
let's go.
About 30 miles.
Anybody else from out of state?
Montana.
You're from Montana?
Just moved here like 2 months ago.
Man, I've never been to Montana, but my favorite movie is River Runs Through, and I always wanted to go
That's right
there.
where we were at.
Okay,
Right
cool.
there.
Indiana.
I gotta come visit you. You're from Indiana?
A year ago.
I'm not there anymore. We moved here.
How long ago?
So
So,
2 months.
oh, so you missed
The fire season.
and the summer and everything. And
Yeah.
when I moved here from Canada, I was 12, and my dad brought us all here, my family, in July, because he said if we can't hack it during the hottest month, we don't need to move here. I'm like, I don't have a choice, I'm 12.
Right.
But I'd never seen palm trees before when I moved here, and I'd never felt heat at night before. Like, I remember being a kid and walking out at night going, what the hell is this? Because in Canada, you get summer times in the 90s, but then it drops down low in the
What
evenings.
part of Canada?
Like British Columbia. Like Whistler, I grew up in Whistler and Vancouver.
I have no Vancouver.
Calgary's cold. That's real Canada. Yeah. My Uncle Bob's from Calgary, and he comes to Arizona to play golf, every month, and he does a consulting business. So sometimes when he comes in the wintertime, he talks about Calgary on this day this year was the second coldest spot on Earth.
Edmonton is worse.
Oh my God, is it?
Yeah, Edmonton is worse.
Hey, so do you guys see what this is? Who does not know what this is? Don't yell out. Who does not know what this is? It's just a coconut. And if you guys were in like Hawaii, it would have the green skin on it still and stuff. But this is like from the Asian market. And now that Amazon bought Whole Foods actually has more decent pricing now. If you guys been into Whole Foods lately? Everything's on sale at Whole Foods right now. And these used to be $3, now they're $2 at Whole Foods. So,
Wow.
So I want to show you guys one thing before we start. So. This tour is like about growing your own food. It's not about gardening. I don't really care about gardening, but you got to be a good gardener to grow food, right? So it's just like I hate going to the gym, but I like after it's over, and I like feeling healthy and all that stuff. And I hate eating vegan diet. I've been vegan 17 years. I'd rather have a steak, but I like that I feel clean and no animals have to die for my diet and all that stuff. So anyways, if you guys learn how to garden, you can grow a lot more food, which is why, and then gardening's relaxing and fun, and it throws your back out and all that stuff. So usually, if you guys stand back, I usually am pretty good about cutting these, but might be some splatter.
Of blood?
Maybe. That's a pretty good one. You guys can applaud that because that was pretty good. Well applaud. And then I want you guys to drink at least one of these a day because the coconut water is inside there. When you get the young ones like this, you can eat the flesh like it's like gelatinous and nice. And then I didn't have a straw, and I'm trying to not use plastic, so I got a papaya leaf. My papaya tree's back there.
Oh, wow.
And I just kind of like cut this like this, and now that's like a straw. So I can actually, you can use zucchini stem or papaya stem, and now I can.
Oh, cool.
That's the tour. You guys can go home now.
Go to Whole Foods and get a coconut.
If you buy it by the can, it's always not as good as getting the real deal. And then you go in there with a spoon later on and scrape out the inside and just eat it. And it's really awesome. And then you can throw that into your fruit trees and it composts down into good coconut fiber over time. And usually in like 6 months, I can walk out back and just step on it and just crushes into nothing. So everything food-wise you guys eat, that's from plants. I don't want you guys to compost bones and steak and stuff, but if you guys are vegan, like me, I'm throwing my knife at you guys. And you guys only eat plants and fruits, everything that you eat should be going out into your compost and into your fruit trees, because later on it's soil for your trees and your plants. Right?
Yep.
You follow me? If anybody drinks this, they're gonna die. That's mine right there. And then I went to the Asian market too, and I got this one. And this is cactus fruit, but in my freezer I have my own cactus fruits. I go out in the desert and I pick the prickly pear fruits. They call them the tunas. Tunas de los nopalitos. Right, the nopales or nopalito cactus is the prickly pear. And you guys live in the desert, so you should have all, how many people ate prickly pear fruit this morning? Go home and then come back when you're done, because you live in the desert.
Right.
You should be eating mesquite flower, and you should be eating prickly pear fruits, you should be eating cactus, you should be eating native stuff that grows here, right? And if you go to an Asian market, they'll have these, but better is just to hike into the desert and pick your own. And on the inside, every cactus fruit has different colors. This one's bright purple. And you just scoop it out like a kiwi and eat the insides, which I don't have a spoon. Anybody have a spoon? We're gonna go knife style this time. And usually the seeds are pretty like hard, but cactus fruit is really sweet and one of the best forms of anti-inflammatory for your body. So I peel these, freeze them in a bag, and then every morning in my smoothie I get 2 cactus fruits every morning.
What about the fruit from the barrel cactus?
They're all edible,
Well, I know they're edible,
but they're a
what
little
about
more yellow and crunchy.
Yeah, so I was thinking about the
So you just
anti-inflammatory.
peel it like a carrot?
Yeah, it will have that.
You just peel it like a carrot?
Usually I'll do it like a kiwi. I'll skin it and then put them in a Ziploc bag and freeze them.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you just pick that off the cactus, do all those little notes have thorns on them?
No, this one has been already deburred.
But I mean, when you get it off the cactus, it does, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Do you guys watch any of my YouTube videos on YouTube?
No,
The vegan
never
athlete
seen
stuff?
any of them.
No. I did a video last week about cactus fruit and how I do it. So that video showed me just taking a stick and doing it into a bag. But if I'm hiking and I have no stick or tools, I just break one off and then I just hike and I take a rock and just shave it while I'm hiking. It keeps my mind busy, and then I just like suck it at the end. So cactus fruit, it's a very powerful superfood, and I think you guys should all be eating it. And then you'll have vegan athlete powers. I know you guys aren't all going to be vegan like me, but if I can get you eating enough fruits and vegetables, you'll be more vegan than you were before. So. Okay, and then this one was that I don't grow this, sadly, because I don't live in Hawaii, but I think you guys should go to like Asian markets and get rare varieties of fruits, because we can grow some tropical fruits in the Phoenix area, but rambutans I think are a little bit hard unless you have a greenhouse or something. Can you guys all see in here? You want to come in closer? We can all get like cozy. It's like an intimate gardening tour with Jake. So these guys look like kind of weird. Has anybody never seen this before?
Never seen it.
My daughter,
I know at least half of you are just
my
embarrassed.
daughter
Yeah.
showed one on Facebook the other day.
She did? So you just
Yeah.
open it up and there's like a
Yeah.
white grape-like fruit on the inside. It tastes grape-like. And there's a seed on the inside,
What
and
did
it's
you
called
call
a rambutan. But here in Phoenix, we're able to grow some tropicals like guava and banana and papaya. But if you can grow rambutan, then you win here in Phoenix, because it just can't take the cold, and anything under 35 or 40 is going to really hurt this tree. That's it. Aren't you guys happy to get to watch me eat all morning? Yeah! And then, what do you do with this? Do you throw it away? I know you guys throw this away.
Compost.
Just in the fruit tree. And since my whole landscape is wood chips now, I just throw it in there and it becomes nutrients. Okay? These are some other ones we'll do later too.
Okay.
Like the top of the coconut, it's mulch. Goes in there. This is going to be mulch too. But that papaya leaf, I could juice it, and it's really good for anemia and replacing blood loss and stuff. It's very bitter though. Should I compost the plastic bag?
No.
Yes, no?
You can recycle
I know some of you guys are like, what is he gonna say?
recycle it
We could.
at the grocery store.
That's true. That's true. So I think that recycling is a bunch of bull crap. Not really, but it is. But the best thing to do is to reduce. Right? What are the 3 R's? Reduce,
Reuse and recycle.
Recycle's last. Recycle's for the lazy folks. So reduce first, and then reuse it second, and then recycle if you are at the airport or something and you just can't. Should we start the tour? The class?
Sure.
My name is Jake Mace, and you guys are here at my garden. Have any of you guys never seen one of my YouTube videos before? You don't know who I am and you just came here? That's great. Why did you guys come here?
Because I saw her post and I thought it would be interesting. And it's only 4 miles from my home.
That's great. Besides you, I find that it's like husbands or wives of the other person. And usually in each relationship, there's one gardener and one who kind of holds them back from buying every plant in sight. Right?
Too many plants, right?
Gardeners are the only people that will have no more space, but they'll still buy more plants. Anyways, are you guys growing anything successfully so far?
Lots of peppers.
Basil.
Peppers do really well here. Basil, like Arizona, Phoenix area, should really be the basil king of the United States, you know?
Rosemary.
Rosemary. Aren't we number 3 in citrus production, I think?
Citrus.
And we're like number 2 in basil or something like
We
that.
just moved to number 2 after the hurricane.
I know. Yeah, that's true. Oh my gosh, I have so many friends up there that garden, and social media is great. I got real-time updates because none of them left their homes. They all stayed in their homes and just buckled down, and they were like updating Instagram while they had cell signal, and just that their yards looked decimated. Like it looked like it was a hurricane. You know? Anyways, so I'm gonna go through some of the fruit trees that I grow here that work really well in Phoenix. So if you guys want to take notes or remember what I say, you'll save yourselves a lot of money and time, because every nursery in town is gonna tell you stuff, and I'm gonna tell you stuff that works. Because I would listen to people that are actually growing. Don't necessarily listen to a nursery, because they might just be giving advice to customers. Ask them, do they have this tree or plant planted at their house? Does it do well at their house? And how much experience do they have growing it themselves? So I am not a certified master gardener. I'm just a school of hard knocks guy, but I know what's working so far, and I'll impart it to you and you guys can run with it. So the goal of this class is to save you time and money and inspire those who are already great gardeners. Who's already a great gardener? I'm sure some of you guys have amazing gardens and you guys are just studs. But hopefully there's like one thing I can say or do that will keep you enthused about the gardening bug, because one of the things that kills skillful people is just they get bored, you know, and they just lose motivation to do a sport or business or YouTube or whatever. So we're gonna go through some fruit trees first, then we're gonna talk about in-ground and raised bed gardens, and talk about permaculture and growing a food forest that communicates with itself and all that stuff. So one thing you guys can see, like in my front yard, what's all over the ground there? A lot of wood chips and mulch. So I put this wall in that's 3 feet high because the city says I can do a 4-foot tall wall. We have no HOA here, so I can do a 4-foot tall wall. So I did it 3 feet just to make sure I'm within the city. I also befriended all the heads of the city departments, so I know them all by name. And they like what I do and that sort of thing with the garden. I try to keep my garden kind of pruned up, even though it's a lot of stuff in the front. Does my front yard look like my neighbor's?
No.
Even though it's small and, manageable, but I also try to always bring in wood chips and mulch and layer it, and then the wall lets it be clean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you guys using wood chips currently? So I did not believe Greg Peterson when I took his class. Before I was his friend, I didn't believe him when he said use wood chips. For the first 2 years I didn't use any wood. I just figured put it in the ground and let it go. And I killed a lot of stuff. And I wasted a lot of money, and I always had to move things because it was the wrong spot or the wrong place, and I was always moving trees around. If you guys bring in the wood chips from day one and put it on top of your soil, it's gonna save you money and water. It's gonna break down into nutrients for the trees, and it's gonna just create an ecosystem that's well balanced and more conducive of growing fruit trees. Like I had a friend come over and say, oh, your fruit trees look better than mine, but you have a climate that's better for them. Oh. I'm like, you live down the street. Like, I created the climate.
That's what I was going to say.
Exactly. So if we all go over and just line the front sidewalk, we'll talk about fruit trees here, and then we'll go in the backyard. And my backyard's better than the front yard, so we'll get back there quick.
We need to sign up.
Yeah, if you guys need to sign up.
saw a Japanese beetle on your pale bush.
I heard you talking about that. Yeah.
So, quick question about the wood chips. Does it create a scorpion haven?
That's the number one question I always get.
Imagine.
Let me answer that really quick for everybody.
Because I know palm trees do.
I know, they're crazy. Excuse me, sorry. Can you guys all come a little bit closer? Come on in here, nice and tight. I know it's sunny, but we'll get in the back. There's more shade back there.
It could be worse. It could be last week.
And my friend Alyssa is here, and her husband Brandon from Greenies Garden. They're filming this. They're gonna try not to get you in it, but I hope you guys don't mind. I'm just gonna film it, because then you guys can review it on my YouTube channel later. I've never filmed one of these before. I always just give them, and I always feel like people should know the information. So she's gonna film it, and I'll put it on YouTube later for if you guys want to share it or review it, the information. But still take notes.